Welcome to my exercises for Lesson 3, keyed to Croy and his A Primer of Biblical Greek. In this lesson he goes over first declension feminine nouns, and I trust you've gone through the vocabulary and that you've read through the lesson, and hopefully you've done the exercises in the book, so you're pretty familiar, and now we'll get a little extra practice. Croy talks about the lexical form on the bottom of page 13 and how the lexical form is the form that you find it in the dictionary when you look it up in BDAG, or if you have some older outdated dictionary like Thayer or something. But yeah, the lexical form is the form of the verb in the nominative singular. So there's some rules that I have here, and Croy touches on these, but this is how I kind of simplify them and remember. The pure alpha rule: if the lexical form of the first declension feminine noun ends in an alpha, and the alpha is preceded by a vowel or a rho, then the noun is considered a pure alpha noun. Pure eta rule: if the lexical form of the first declension feminine noun ends in an eta, then the noun is considered a pure eta noun. The mixed rule: if the lexical form of the first declension feminine noun ends in an alpha, and the alpha is preceded by any other letter other than a vowel or a rho, then it is mixed. So I have a note here. Number 1, that in the pure alpha, both the genitive singular and the accusative plural end in as, or alpha sigma. The context will tell you which is which. Number 2, all plural forms of the first declension feminine nouns are the same. Yay. And how I remember this is kind of like I own an ice house, because it goes I own ice as. I own ice as. And then of course the vocative is the same as the nominative, and I have a note here that the accent depends on the stem of the noun. So you see, like, this one has an accent and that one does not. You don't need to memorize that. So I own ice as. I. Okay, let's get to number 1. Alright. So akuo phonein aletheas kai thelo blepein basilean doxes. Okay, so we remember from the lesson 2, the present active indicative verbs. We have our stem and our ending, and this should be kind of old news now of I hear. Now here is a different one. This is a new vocabulary word, phone. So we know that since it has a eta on the end in its lexical form, it is a pure eta noun. And the pure etas, starting at the nominative and going down through, is a, ace, a, ain, a. So we know that this is in the accusative form. So that is referring back to the verb. And this can mean voice or sound. So I hear, let's go, a voice, aletheas. Okay, aletheia is one of our vocab, and we know that the lexical form is aletheia. So, and then it has a vowel before the alpha, so we know that it is a pure alpha because it's preceded by a vowel. So the declensions for the pure alpha in the singular is a, as, an, a. So we have as. Well, this could be either a genitive, singular, or a accusative, plural. But since we have an accusative here, going back to this verb, we don't need to worry about if this is a genitive. We know it's going to be, nope, we don't have to worry about it being an accusative because we already have an accusative. So we know it's genitive. So kind of the idea of something. Right now it's easiest to think of genitives as kind of possessive, so being of something. In the future that'll be refined a little bit more. But so I hear a voice of truth. Kai and thelo, you know that. Stem and our ending. It's present active indicative. First person singular, meaning I wish, will, or desire. Blepain, so our infinitive ending with our stem coming from blepo, which is the lexical form for I see. So this is I wish to see. And this is called a complementary infinitive because it's referring to this verb, and there's a list of verbs that very, very often take an infinitive to complete it because it wouldn't make sense just to say I wish unless it has to refer to something, either something before it in context, or you have to have a verb referring back to it. So I wish to see basilean. So once again, this is another one of our vocab words in basilea. So we know that this is our ending here on. In the lexical form it has an alpha at the end, and so before it is an iota. We know it is a pure alpha, once again because it's preceded by a vowel or a row. And this means a kingdom, reign, or rule. We'll go with kingdom. And once again, we know that it is accusative singular. So it's this is referring to this, and this is the direct object. Now we have doxase. Okay, another one of our vocab words. Doxe ends in an eta, so we automatically know it's pure eta. So we have the paradigm in the singular. We know it's not in the or not in the plural because it has an eta in it. So we go through the paradigm a, ace, a, ain, a. Okay, it's an alpha sigma, so it's a genitive. Roughly, we're going, like I said, with the possessive of glory. So I hear a voice of truth, and I wish to see a kingdom of glory. Alright, number 2. Uk, ekete, doxan, echo, zoain, kai, alethein. Okay, so we start off here with our negation. So we're looking for the verb it negates, so we keep that in the back of our head. So akete, we go through the present active indicative primary endings in the active, and it's o ace a, amen ete use, so we know ete, second person plural. So, and we know this comes from echo, which means I have. So you all, it's a plural, you do not have glory. Okay, so our lexical form of glory is doxa, delta, omicron, oh man, my mind just went totally blank with the little squiggly guy. Oh yeah, Xi. For some reason I thought that was key. Anyway, okay. So delta, omicron, Xi, and then there's an eta. Okay, so the lexical form has an eta on the end, but before, or not, doesn't have an eta. Oh man, it has an alpha, because the Xi before the alpha means it's a mixed verb. So our mixed is kind of different. It goes is a or a for alpha, then a, ace, a, on, a. So a, ace, a, on, a. Alright, so we know this is accusative. Direct object. Okay, going on. Echo, zoane, kai, alethean. Echo, I have. That one should be pretty easy by now. Zoane. Okay. Well, we know that's life. And the lexical form is zoe. So, with the new on the end there, what do we know? It's accusative. So I have glory. Kai and alethean. Okay, so if you remember back up here, we had that same word, means truth, and aletheia ends in alpha in its lexical form, and it has an iota before it, so that means it is a pure alpha. So it is an accusative, singular, and truth. Alright, number 3. Thelusi, legain, alethean, ecclesia. Okay. Thelusi. Well, coming from thelo, meaning I wish, but it has the third person plural ending. So that means they want, or wish, will, desire. And then remember I talked about the complementary infinitive, and that's right here. And so leg o is I speak, or I'm saying. So they want to speak. Alethean, just went through this, we know it's nominative, and it means truth. Ecclesia, okay, this is a new word too. So ecclesia means assembly or church, and it ends with an alpha, and it has an iota before it in the lexical form, so we know it's pure alpha. But we notice something below here called the iota subscript. The iota subscript is a really big clue when it comes to figuring out what datives are and identifying them. So a dative kind of has the idea of to or for, but right now mostly for to. So we can go speak truth to a church, assembly. Context would determine that one. I believe ecclesia is used in the New Testament referring to the Sanhedrin gathering because they're an assembly. So when you speak to the ecclesia, it may not necessarily be the church, but more than likely it will be in the New Testament. Alright, number 4. Adelphi. Ekes, Kardion, Hati, Ekes, Zoane. So we had Adelphi in lesson 2, so that we could have a noun and actually make some sentences. And we know it, in its lexical form, has an eta. So we know it's a pure eta noun. Well, it could either be nominative or it could be vocative. Context, of course, will tell us. But anyways, we'll go sister, ekes, coming from echo, have our ending, first person, or second person, singular, meaning you, singular, you have, you, singular, have, Kardion. Okay, that is another one of our vocab words. And in its lexical form, we know it ends in an alpha, and it has an iota before it. So it's a pure alpha noun. And it is accusative. And it's singular, so just one heart. Sister, you have only one heart. Hati, that or because. Well, probably because here, but like I said, context will determine that for sure. Because, ekes, that's the same. You have Zoane. You know, Zoe is a pure eta because it has an eta in the lexical form, and the eta nu means that it is accusative. Have life. Alright, number 5. Oh, going back to 4. So this is in the vocative form because it's addressing the sister. Like if you said, hey brother, come here, I want to talk to you. So same thing here. Sister, you have a heart because you have life. It's kind of rare, but it is in the New Testament on occasion. Adelphi, Graphusi, Basileia, Hati, Delusi, Gain. Okay, so Adelphi. Well, we know it means either brother or sister, but is it singular or plural? Well, we go through the paradigms. It could be in the singular if it was, well, if it was brother, it would be a second declension noun. So we know it's not that because you haven't learned about that yet. So it's going to be sister. So I own an ice house. I own ice as I. We know it is either nominative or vocative. But we know it's plural, so sisters. Graphusi, present active indicative. Third person plural, meaning they. And what are they doing? Sisters. They write or are writing. Remember, it's happening right now. It's present tense. Basileia. Alright, we got another dative here because we see the iota subscript, and we know it is a pure alpha because it lexical form ends in an alpha and it has an iota before it, and that means kingdom, but with the dative has the idea of two So to a kingdom. Hati, that or because. Let's go with because. Thelusi. The same ending we just had over here. We know thelo is I wish, I will, I desire. But so they wish gain land. And this is an accusative because gamma eta is the lexical form, so it's pure eta. Alright, number 6. U blepes doxan hati uk ekes zoane. Alright, so we have our negation. Keep that in mind. Blepes, we recognize the stem, recognize the ending. We know it is present active indicative, second person singular. And blepo means I see, so this means you see, but we remember the u, you do not see. Or you don't see. Doxane, remember this verb in the nominative, or not this verb, this noun in the nominative ends in an alpha. And it has a xi before the alpha, so it's mixed first declension noun, and it is accusative. So it goes a, as, on, a. So what do they see? They see glory. Let's see. That, well, it's probably because, huh? Because. Uk ekes zoane. Okay, another negation. Keep that in mind. Ekes. The same. So we know that's because you, singular, don't, what? They don't have zoane, life. Number 7. Thelamen, blepain, hameron, zoes, kai, hameron, doxes. Alright, thelamen. We haven't had amen in an ending yet in this these sentences. So we have o, ace, a, amen. Alright, first person plural. So that means we wish, blepain. So our complementary infinitive, to see, hameron. Okay, this is this a new? Yep, this is a new vocab. And it ends in an alpha. And it has a rho before it in the nominative form. So it's pure alpha. So we know with the alpha new ending that it is accusative. So this is what they are seeing. A day. Zoes. We remember that's pure eta. A, ace. So it's genitive. So a day of glory. Or you could say we wish to see a glorious day. That would work as well. Kai and hameron. Okay, well that's the same, so that's kind of easy. A day, doxes. Oops, I totally messed up. This is life. A day of life and a day, doxes. It's mixed type. And we know it's genitive. Of course, the pure eta and the mixed have the same eta sigma. Number 8. Moving right along. Ou, or negation, legete, alethean, adelphe, hati, uk, ekete, zoe. So, ou, remember that. Legete, so o ace a, amen ete, that is second person plural, meaning speak. So you don't speak or you don't say. Alethean. It's accusative. So truth. You should start to notice some patterns in this. Ooh, adelphe with an iota subscript. Remember the iota subscript gives us a hint that is probably dative. So that would be to a sister. Hati, that or because. Because. Uk, negation. Ekete, see the stem and the ending. In this, like I said, is plural. I didn't write that in there. Just realized that. So, because you all do not have zoane, life. Number 9, adelphos, didaske, adelphane, graphane, kai, legane. Alright, adelphos. Well, we know that means brother. It is a second declension noun, which you won't learn until, what is it? Is it lesson 5? Or is it lesson 4? Lesson 4. So the next lesson, you learn second declension nouns. But this is a nominative. So, brother. And it couldn't be vocative because it has a different form in the vocative for the second declension. Or, second declension. Okay, adelphos, didaske. Recognize our stem and our ending. O, ace, first or second person singular, meaning teach. So, brother, probably a brother. He teaches, so we'll just go teaches. Adelphane. Remember that's nominative and it's feminine, meaning sister. So he teaches a sister. Graphane. Got the infinitive. Recognize the stem. Coming from grapho, meaning I write. So this means to write. Kai and legane. Another infinitive. To speak. So a brother teaches a sister to write and to speak. Number 10. Uk, akusi, kardias, hati, uk, akusi, zoes. Kardia, adelphes, thele, zoane. Okay, so negation, ekusi, o is a, I'm an edit usi. We know it is third person plural. So they don't have. Alright, cardia. We know that it ends in an alpha and it has an iota before it. So it is pure alpha. And so it has the alpha sigma. It's genitive. We're going to treat that as a possessive genitive right now. They don't have. Oh, nope, my bad. That's where it gets tricky. I almost got tripped up. So this could be the same in the genitive singular form, or it could be the plural accusative form. Well, we know we need a direct object because the subject is already covered in the verb. So it has to be accusative. They don't have hearts, and it's plural. So plural accusative. Hati, they don't have hearts because uk, akusi, they don't have. Ooh, that's bad. Zoace. That should be an Ada, huh? Ooh, that's kind of ugly. So yeah, I boned that one up pretty good. Because that should be an Ada new. So it would be accusative. So they don't have life. Unless well, I got tripped up again. In this form, it would actually be still pure Ada, but it would be plural accusative. That alpha sigma. Plural accusative. So they don't have, instead of life, it would be lives. Cardia, okay, so we're starting with a noun in this sentence. A dull face. So it's cardia. It could be either nominative or vocative. So unless they're talking to the heart, it's probably a nominative. But we can look at the rest of our sentence and we see here that we have an accusative. So we can assume that this would be nominative. So, a heart, you know this is genitive, so we're going to treat it as possessive. A heart of a sister, or a sister's heart, would be a little simpler. Thele. Remember, that means he, she, or it. And of course, a sister's heart is referring to a feminine, but in this case, you know, when you translate it from English, you might have to treat it as a neuter. But a heart of a sister, wants, wishes, wills, desires, Zoane, life. Number 11, last one. Lues, hati, u, pisteues, alethean, kai, uk, ekes, cardian, zoes. Hopefully I didn't screw this one up, or will screw this one up. Alright, lues. You remember that from luo, so I loosen or I destroy. Ace, oh ace. In our paradigm there, it's second person singular, so you singular. Let's go with destroy. You destroy hati. That or because u, a negation, and it doesn't have a kappa or a chi on it because remember it has a consonant. So a negation, pisteues, you know that means you singular believe. So You do not believe. So you destroy because you don't, that's singular, believe. Aletheon. Okay, so the lexical form is aletheia with an alpha on the end, and it has an iota, so it's a pure alpha, and it has an alpha nu, meaning it is accusative. So kai, uk, ekes, negation. The kappa before the smooth breathing. You only really need to know that for going from English to Greek, or if you want to make sentences like these. Alright, so you do not have, you singular, don't have, cardion zoes. Alright, so cardia is the lexical form with an alpha on the end, and it has an iota before it, pure alpha. And so alpha nu is accusative, so you don't have a heart, it's singular, zoes. We know that is genitive because it's in the pure eta form. So you don't have a heart of life. Or perhaps you don't have a live heart, meaning you have a dead heart. Okay, well, that's it for this lesson. Hopefully you found it helpful. Leave me any comments or complaints or whatever. Hopefully the lighting is better in this video than the last one. Thank you very much.